Hello and welcome back to KILIMO Diaries. I am your host Sandra Wahito, and in today's episode we are at Mukulima wa Nyeri farm with a very familiar face, Cliff Daryl from Oxfam AG Limited. So even as we start, Cliff, ndio ile avocado watu usema imeenda shule?
Yeah, for sure has avocado ni ile unasikianga imeenda tuition in quotes because by cutting it into two, definitely the appearance in it is always appealing.
It's always appealing.
Yeah.
So now even as we get into the types of avocados, kuna Hass avocado, what other avocado is there in the market that people probably confuse with the Hass?
Okay, at the moment I find in the market there are two avocados which are kind of popular. One is this Hass avocado, then the other one is Fuerte avocado. So the difference between Hass and avocado, if I find Hass avocado, the skin is usually rough and bumpy.
Yeah.
But for Fuerte avocado, the skin is quite smooth.
Aina easy to bumps.
Yeah. Then also you find for the Fuerte avocado, in terms of the shape, it's more like a conical shape. And then it's also slightly bigger than Hass. But you find the reason why Hass is now the big deal is in terms of the nutrients and everything in it.
So it's become more popular.
Yeah.
In terms of nutrients, comparing it to the other avocado.
Yeah.
Does it have better health benefits than the other one?
Okay, yes, it has better health benefits because you find in terms of the nutritional aspect, it has quite more nutrients compared to the rest.
Yeah.
Then also in terms of the oil aspect, you find for Hass avocado, the oil aspect can also be beneficial to the humans, and then also you find they can be processed to produce other beauty cosmetic products. The oil in it.
The oil in it.
Yeah.
So it's less than ile ingine.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're standing next to very big trees of the Hass avocado specifically. Yeah. But even before we get into the tree itself, how is the planting of the Hass avocado, like spacing in terms of the climate that it needs?
Okay, for Hass avocado, first with the spacing, you find an acre takes 150 trees.
An acre?
Yeah, an acre. 150 trees of Hass avocados, whereby they usually given a spacing of 5 by 5 meters.
Okay.
That is 5 meters from one tree to another, then 5 meters from one row to another. So you find when you...
Heavy.
Yeah, it's more like a square.
Yeah.
So you find when that spacing is considered, you find now an acre will fit 150 trees.
Okay.
Then the second one you'd ask about areas where they do best.
Yes.
Okay, first you find a Hass avocado does best in areas of an altitude of around from 1,000 meters above sea level to around 2,100 meters above sea level.
Nice.
Areas with that kind of altitude, Hass avocado does well there.
Okay.
Then also you find in areas which are either warm and wet or cool and wet, Hass avocado does best there. So if a farmer is to plant in an area that is hot and dry, then you find the avocado tree is likely to struggle with that conditions. Because you find, yes, it will grow, but the production would be that much compared with somebody who has planted in warm and wet or cool and wet area. Yeah.
Okay. In terms of soil, anything else that you need to consider when you're doing the Hass avocado? Okay,
in terms of the soil, you find a Hass avocado mostly can do well in a wide range of soils. But one particular soil that in Hass avocado will struggle most is usually the black cotton soil.
It will struggle?
Yeah. Because you find that the black cotton soil most of the time you find it's usually more like clay-like.
Yes. So it holds water.
Yeah, it holds the water. Then you find with the water stagnating, it impacts the root formation of the Hass avocado, then which later on leads to what we usually call a root rot.
Yes, the root rot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So the soil, we avoid black cotton. Yeah. Climate-wise, malipa ka hapa Nyeri.
Yeah, like for Nyeri, for instance, this climate suits Hass avocado very, very well.
Very, very well.
Yeah.
Okay. As now the planting goes on, tumesha plant our Hass avocado. What are some of the care needs that the Hass avocado needs as it's growing? Now ndio tufike mali kama hapa.
Okay, so for instance, we find the moment you plant Hass avocado, first let me take you through the planting process.
Yes, please.
You find normally when you're doing the planting, for the holes, it's usually 2 feet by 2 feet, the size of the hole.
The size of the hole, yes.
Yeah, that is 2 feet deep and 2 feet wide. Then you find the moment you are doing the holes, there's usually the top soil and then the subsoil. So while you're doing the digging, the top soil usually retain it because the top soil usually contains a lot of humus, organic matter. Yeah.
Yes,
so you find it's quite more nutritious compared to the subsoil. So the subsoil will get rid of it.
Unaitoa kabisa?
Yeah. Okay. Then the topsoil you retain it. So the topsoil is what you'll mix with animal manure, because we find from our end normally usually encourage farmers to do it organically.
Manure kutoka wanyama.
Yeah, you can either be goat manure, cow manure, chicken manure. Yeah. So you find per hole usually it takes 20 kgs of manure. That is that 20-liter bucket, all of it. So you
for one hole.
For one hole.
Yes.
So you mix the whole, you mix the manure with the soil, topsoil.
Yes.
Then now you return a portion of it to fill the lower 1 feet.
Yes, because remember it's two feet deep and 2 feet wide.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the portion you fill the lower 1 feet. Then now is when you plant the seedling.
Oh, so after umeka hiyo ya kwanza, then you
plant the seedling. Yeah. Then the remaining portion of the mixture is when now you fill it to the hole.
You fill out the other.
The remaining 1 feet. So with that you find at least in the whole depth, at least there's manure, so that even when the roots, ukuna juu na chini, so that when the roots start spreading, at least they are able to find manure in almost every level of the soil.
Yes.
So that is the planting. So you find after planting, the key thing is usually to ensure you do the regular weeding, because you find at that time the seedling, the tree is usually young.
Yes.
And you find it's not yet strong enough to compete with the weeds. So you find there you'll be doing like either monthly weeding, just to ensure there's no competition for the manure. Yeah. Then also you'll be doing the regular irrigation, but that depends with where you've planted. For area like Nyeri, for instance, you find in such areas there won't be the need for doing irrigation
if there's rainfall.
Yeah, because you find in these such areas, normally you find greater part of the year it always rains. So you find for irrigation it don't make much sense. But for somebody who's doing it, let's say in an area like Machakos, that is where now he or she will be requested to install the irrigation on the farm. Because you find such areas have a higher temperature, then the rate of evapotranspiration is high. So you find with the irrigation it will depend with where you've planted.
Okay. So but do you irrigate how do you irrigate? Because I know avocado hazitakangi maji nyingi tena.
True. Yes. So you find if let's say for instance you've planted in a hot region, for the first around 5-6 months, we usually recommend you install, not even installing, you endorse, or not even endorse, you install the act of mulching, because you find mulching they usually and then also you find for the mulch usually also prevents the growth of weeds around the area.
In a prevent any space.
So you find with the mulching, it can either be the organic or the inorganic, but normally usually recommend you do the organic. So basically that you find either dry grass, dry leaves, which now you apply around the tree.
Okay.
So with the mulching you find in terms of irrigation, maybe you'll be irrigating the trees like thrice in a week. But without mulching, then you find you'll be irrigating at least let's say like almost daily without the mulch, because you'll find the rate at which the water is getting lost from the soil is higher. So that is in terms of the irrigation. Then another thing you find once you plant the trees, definitely you'll have applied the manure when planting, but you find these trees as they grow they consume. So you find after every around 4 or 5 months, again you'll also have to apply manure around the root area.
Okay, so does that mean to throw a mulch and then we put the manure, then you put back?
Yes. Okay. Because normally you find what happens is you just dig around the root area or at a depth of at most can be 30 centimeters. Then you mix the soil, that manure. So that when you either irrigate or it rains, the nutrients they just So that is on the care of manure. Then the other part, normally as the tree grows, is usually part of pruning. You find that when these trees are young, they usually tend to develop more of like many branches from the base. For instance, when you look at most trees here, you realize from the base they have 2 branches. There's no single tree that has one straight branch. So you find normally they usually many at the start. So we usually encourage you to do the pruning of the side branches to at least remain with 2. Because when you remain with 2, at least at that point you are also ensuring that when the tree is fully grown, in terms of the production and the potential of that tree producing, it will be good. Because you find if you have many branches, then there's that probability of the fruits being produced won't be of that quality, because you find that will be producing a lot. And and you find even with the consumption of the manure, most of those branches will not be benefiting. But if they're just left 2, then there'll be maximum. You're
assured that there'll be quality. Because hakuna competition pia for.
So that is in terms of the pruning. Another thing you find normally these trees at some point they usually have what usually called premature flowering and premature fruiting.
Okay. What is that?
Normally that is at after 1.5 years or maybe after 1 year.
Yeah.
That tree you'll find it starts flowering and even at some point fruiting. But when you look at the size of the tree, you find the tree is not quite big enough to carry many fruits.
Okay.
So what we usually encourage is you do pruning of the flowers. When you do pruning of the flowers, that tree at least it's able to focus on the general growth than focusing on the flowering.
So far we've gone through the planting process, the care as it's growing up. Yeah. And you've talked about now the growth. Yes. When we plant, for example, leo tupande avocado, how long do we expect for the tree to start fruiting? How long does it take? Because some people would think ukipanda mti unatoa matunda in the next maybe 6-8 months.
Okay, so that one normally depends with how you've planted it. Because you find there's one who will decide to plant a seed and there's one who will decide to plant a seedling that is grafted. So if you're planting a seed, then definitely that tree will take around 6-7 years for you to get your first fruits. But if you're planting a grafted tree, then the first fruiting, that is the first productive fruiting, will come after around 2.5 to 3 years. So that will be the first fruiting for the tree.
Okay. And you've talked about grafting. For the house avocado, why do we graft and what other plant do we? So I remember the last time you taught me how to graft. Which other fruit, tree are we putting together and tupate has? Okay,
for what happens is you find like this avocado, this is a has. The moment you go and plant this seed that is inside here, you're highly assured, 100% sure you want to get a has avocado. You're going to get the local indigenous avocado. So you find for has avocado, unless you graft it, that is when you're able to get the has.
So has is like a hybrid?
Yes.
Okay.
So you find you can only get it through grafting.
Okay.
So the reason why we do grafting, one, to shorten the maturity period. Two, is to increase the quality and quantity production of the tree. And then three, is to also to improve in terms of its traits. Because you find the moment you blend or you bring two crops of the same family but from different mothers, you find in terms of the trait aspect, it also improves, becomes stronger, and the way you've just said, like a hybrid.
Yeah, it's a hybrid. Yeah.
So you find
stronger than. Yeah.
So that's why we most usually recommend the grafting.
Okay. Probably also some of the diseases that attack the avocados, even as they grow up. Yeah.
Okay. Mostly find for has avocados. The thing one is the root rot.
Yes, you had talked about. Yes.
Yeah. Then normally these are white flies. Mostly find when the fruits have set. When you come and try to inspect the fruits, you'll realize that you find most of the fruits having a white substance on them. Those are actually secretions from the white flies which have been mounted on the fruits. So you find mostly those things in some way they kind of creep in the fruit. Whereby so wakati ume harvest ukianza kukata ndani unapata huko ndani ni kama imeoza. But that is something that was secreted on the fruit, then that substance ikaanza kuiaffect. So white flies, that's a pest. Then also aphids usually attack mostly
the leaves.
But the thing you find with avocado, what you usually recommend is the way you can see this tree, at the base of it, it's quite dense. So you find it creates a microclimate that can harbor many pests. So we usually recommend what you call pruning of the trees.
Okay.
So mostly after every harvest or every season, you have to ensure you do the pruning so that to ensure the sun rays they can reach each and
every.
Juu unapata with the sun rays, this space hazipendi kuchoma na jua. So mahali the sun inafika haziwezi kaa hapo. Zinapenda mahali kuko cool and hidden.
Okay. All right. So before we get into how many fruits or rather has avocado you can get from one tree, we'll be taking a quick break. We'll be right back.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Mimi sipendi, unapanguza floor. Hiyo dust uache hapa kwa meza. Clean up. selector yako, utengeneze sandwich zako, uachane na sandwich za boss.
Selector, the difference is in the taste. Usiyakubalie maumivu ya misuli kukatiza ratiba yako. Kaluma Pain Balm ni dawa ya kusugua iliyotengenezwa kutoka kwa miche maalum ili kutuliza maumivu ya misuli. Kaluma Pain Balm. Shhh. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari. Tonadol Extra imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli kupambana haraka na maumivu ya kichwa, mwili na hata meno. Tonadol Extra, hakika maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back. For those who are joining us, we are at Mkulima wa Nyeri Farm with Cliff, who's taking us through Hass Avocado. Now, before the break, we're talking about planting, how to take care of the Hass Avocado as they grow, and now we get into the fruit produce, especially of one tree. Cliff, how many Hass Avocados are we expecting from one tree?
Okay, normally you find these trees in terms of the production, it's something that usually increases gradually, stage by stage. So, before even talk about the production, what I forgot to mention is you find with Hass Avocado, normally when you're planting in an acre, normally usually recommend lately that you intercrop it with Fuerte avocado.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
So you find with the intercropping with Fuerte, you find in terms of the cross-pollination, that is when they cross-pollinate Hass and Fuerte, in terms of the quality of the fruit, it's really much superior and in even better quality.
So inamaanisha this is a Hass avocado tree and the Fuerte avocado tree?
Actually you find normally in an acre where there's 150 trees, we usually recommend 10 of those 150 to be Fuerte. So you'll find the 10 will be intercropped with the Hass at equidistant ratio or levels, so that at least we ensure every column or row there's a Fuerte. Yeah. Wow. So you find with the cross-pollination it's much better in terms of the quality. Then also usually encourage farmers in every acreage of Hass avocado to always ensure there's always at least a beehive. Because
talk about pollination?
Yeah. Okay. So you find with the beehive, it also helps with the cross-pollination from one tree to another.
Wow. So have a beehive if you're doing
an acre. Yeah.
Or even bigger. Just make sure you have bees for the pollination.
Yes.
Okay.
So you find these trees, they usually mature after around 2.5 to 3 years.
Wow.
So you find at that stage for the first harvest, per tree you can be getting you can be talking of around maybe 70 to 100 fruits for the first harvest.
For the first harvest?
Yes, that is per tree.
Okay.
But as the time goes by, as the tree keeps growing year in, year out,
we expect more.
Yeah, the production per tree keeps increasing, whereby you find this tree, for instance, when it's around 6-7 years old, this tree has a potential of producing over 500 fruits.
500?
Yes.
One tree?
One tree.
Over a period of time?
Yes.
Wow.
So you find, but that is subject to good care and management.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because you can't neglect a tree, then expect it to give
you fruits.
Yeah.
Okay, so now with that 500, let's get into harvesting. Yes. How do we harvest? What do we need to look out for when harvesting? I know my avocado looks a bit different from yours. You'll tell me what I've done.
Okay, normally during the harvest, you find these avocados are usually harvested. First, they're always harvested with the stalk.
Yes,
the stalk is slightly shorter, but normally it's usually slightly longer. But
reason being?
With the stalk, it helps to protect or prevent the avocado from going stale quickly.
Oh, okay.
And then also in terms of the ripening, it reduces the rate at which it's ripening. So you find that avocado can stay in good condition till when it gets to the market.
Okay.
So you find that with the stalk, I usually recommend, because you find if you happen to harvest it without the stalk, you're bound to damage it at this point.
Yeah.
And the moment you injure it at this point, it's bound to spoil.
Rot, yeah. But now when it's on the tree itself, how do we know the Hass is ready to be harvested? Yeah.
Okay, normally for the Hass avocado, you find when it's almost getting ready to be harvested, usually changes the color. At the moment, you find for these ones we have in my hand, they are kind of light green.
Yes.
But when it's almost ready, usually it starts to get dark. Like for the one you're holding, you can realize it's slightly getting dark.
It's getting darker.
Yeah, so you find this one, this stage, is kind of ready for harvest. So that is one. Two, avocados, they usually harvested that in different sizes.
Okay.
Because you find this season or maybe this particular period, the buyers might come requesting for certain size.
So you need to look out for sizes.
Yes.
Okay.
So you find one thing I can say, you find recently, some time back, the export market in Kenya was slightly or temporarily closed.
Yes.
Because we found farmers were kind of in a hurry, in a greedy way, hurrying their harvest, whereby they were even harvesting sizes, for instance, like these ones, which are even not ready or does not even meet the quality the market needs.
Okay.
So you find at some point the Kenyan market was closed, so that farmers can be able to be patient and be able to harvest the sizes that are required.
People want quick money.
Yeah. So you find for the sizes, we usually have the first class, which is from size 12 to 20.
Okay. Size 12, 20 in terms of now when you utapima that fruit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then now there's the second class, which is size 22 to 24.
Okay.
Then you find normally for you to qualify to be able to maybe sell.
If I'm a farmer who has avocados, yes.
So you find normally one ought to have a 40-foot container.
Okay.
Or one should be able to fill.
The 40-foot container with your avocados, you need to be able to fill one container that's 40 foot.
Yeah, because you find one container takes 120,000 pieces of avocado.
Wow. And already one tree can give you to about 500.
Yeah.
Yes. So do the math.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then another thing, you find the pricing of the fruits.
Yes.
They usually vary.
Yes.
Whereby you find depending with how the demand is that season, it will also determine the prices. But you find normally the prices have been ranging between 10 to around 17 shillings per fruit. Yeah.
Okay.
So that has always been the range, because we find this season can be 17, then next season 16, 15, then again it increases to 17. Yeah. So depending with how the demand is, that's usually where the price range falls at.
Okay.
Then also you find the avocados usually packed in 4 kg carton for export. Yeah.
Now, even into the export market, there are some of the criteria, because you had talked about how recently the market had closed, of course, because of farmers and how they were harvesting the avocados. What criteria are they looking out for, in terms of size, in terms of weight, especially because you said Hass is not as big as the Fuerte avocado. Yeah.
Okay, normally what happens is, find for the avocado, first is the size, as I said earlier, because normally you find they usually come specifically looking for a certain size. Then secondly, you find there's what usually call a biomass, something like a biomass. You find this fruit, the moment you harvest it at the moment, right now, it has a certain weight. How you go and store it, it will determine if that fruit will retain its weight, or by the time it reaches the market, it has lost the weight. So normally you'll find most farmers, they'll store them in refrigerated or cool areas, just to ensure the fruit does not lose certain amount of weight. Because normally a fruit that is, let's say, dehydrated, because you can be able to tell, then definitely find that fruit cannot qualify for the market, because it's bound to go stale quickly. So you find those are things they usually consider. And then also how you have harvested it in terms of the presence of the stock. That's also something to consider. So you find the size, the weight,
and how
then
you
also
harvested
the stock itself. Those are things they usually consider most. Yeah.
Okay. Now, in terms of even sweetness, if you can put it that way, the Hass avocado, they say, is sweeter than the Fuerte. Is it because of the water, or what exactly happens that this one is more sweeter than the other one?
Okay, I think in terms of the sweetness, mostly I think the oil aspect, the oiliness aspect is what contributes most to the taste. Whereby you find, let's say for this avocado, you're a farmer, you plant it in Nyeri. I'm a farmer, I plant it maybe in the coastal region. How it will taste will vary. Mine will taste different, and yours will taste different. And yours is highly likely to be sweeter than mine. Reason because for you did plant it in an area that is 100% conducive. For me, I did try planting it in an area where it's struggling, but more like you're forcing.
It's not cool.
You're forcing,
you're forcing issues.
Yeah, you're forcing issues. So you find from my end, yes, the tree has produced. But again, you find in terms of the quality, it's slightly lesser than yours.
Yeah.
So you find depending with where you've planted is what will determine the sweetness. But if you plant it in a conducive area, then it will be sweet.
In terms of storage of the avocado, many people complain because utanunua avocado leo ikate, either weke kwa fridge, yaribike. How should people store the avocado?
Okay, first for Hass avocado, you'll realize this is an avocado that has a quite thick skin compared with the rest, which usually have a thinner skin.
Yes.
So you find for Hass avocado, for it to go stale, the rate at which it can go stale is usually minimal compared to the rest. Because you find for Hass avocado, when you put it or you expose it outside,
yes,
when it's ripe with the other one, for 3 weeks, Hass avocado can find it still in good shape. But the other one, you'll find it slightly rotten or even rotten.
Yeah.
So normally find for Hass avocado, so long as you have stored it in a area that the moisture, there's no high moisture content, and it's also the terms of the temperature is not quite high, with a thick skin, it will remain in good condition. If you are to peel it, then you find normally depends with where you're storing it.
Yeah.
The temperatures in that refrigerator.
Yeah.
Because for sure, you know, if you have a wound, an open wound, definitely if it's not in a conducive environment, then it's bound to have an infection.
Yeah.
So also depending the where you're storing it in that refrigerated area, it will also determine if it will go stale quickly or not. But normally we usually recommend, if you're not going to consume it now, then it's better you leave it while not cut. Yeah, because with Hass avocado, when it's not cut and you sow it that way, you can be assured that it will take some time before it starts maybe spoiling.
Yeah. So does that mean tukienda kwa soko, we need to get avocados that still have the stock remaining? Because most of the time you'll find avocados this way.
Yeah, and if you've been keen, when you look at avocados which are harvested this way, you'll realize most at the top, they are kind of rotten, ama zinaanza kuozea hapo juu when you compare to the other areas of the avocado. So normally we usually recommend, even if you're also going to buy, even if the stock is not there, ensure you pick one which does not have an injury at the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So even as we come to the end of learning about Hass avocados, probably you could share where people can find Mkulima wa Nyeri Farm.
Okay, Mkulima wa Nyeri Farm, as she said earlier, it's a sub-branch of Oxfam. We are located in Tetu, Githakwa Village, Tetu constituency in Nyeri, Githakwa Village. We have a Facebook platform where we're called Mkulima wa Nyeri Farm.
Nice.
That's where they can reach us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Cliff. Asante sana for the conversation. Now, thank you for watching. Remember to catch us next week, same time but a different place, right here on KILIMO Diaries.